Hello everyone, my name is Christopher and I went from bronze to top 500 in 3 seasons. Here is what I've learned. Before we start, I need to speak about my background a little bit. I have 20,000 hours in FPS titles and I've played pretty much everything. CS 1.6, CSGO, Valorant, Apex, PUBG. I played Call of Duty Warzone. I tried an Overwatch copy, which is called Gundam Evolution. And after it failed in Season 3, I decided to pick up Overwatch. And oh boy, was it an absolutely correct decision. Do you remember Season 3 Cassidy, where you can hit a single body shot on an enemy player and this guy is gonna die from your auto-homing missile nade? This is exactly why I have such a high rank in comparison with my previous bronze one. In Season 2 and Season 1, I was mainly focusing on quick play. I absolutely loved playing. In Season 3, I felt that my mechanical skill is outweighing the complete lack of awareness that I would get overall. This is exactly why I would get plat on both tank and DPS, or excuse me, plat on tank and plat on support, because frankly speaking, I never cared about that. I never cared about trying my absolute hardest, and if you would look at my performance, I would play Wrecking Ball, I would play Sigma, and even though my win rates were okay for plat level, 54% is pretty terrible. If you would look at Season 4, you'll quickly realize that developers have made a few balance shifts, and now you are going for overall balanced approach. I played quite a lot more of tank games, I played quite a lot more support games, and overall this was my hard learning phase, my newbie gains phase, where I would go from being completely out of shape to seeing some muscles, seeing abs, if you were to draw parallels and analogies with going to the gym. Season 5 was a very interesting one because I haven't been able to up my skill because I was making I was trying to say to myself that I don't care about rank. I'm only doing 10-hour challenges, and as you can see, I don't quite have 10 hours on most characters, but I would have a few on quick play. I would spend a few hours watching, learning, and reading about these characters, so I would say that this would be a legit experience in that regard. So my go-to character was Ana, and I absolutely loved it. I feel like when you are playing support, this is exactly the time where you deeply start understanding the overall flow of the game and realize that every character, how every character should be positioned on the map, such as like you are on a chessboard, but when you are on a tank, you never look back. You expect your support to be in your line of sight, you expect your DPS to take off angles, but you don't turn around to see where they are at because you are too busy protecting, you are too busy leading forward, you are too busy peeling for the backline. My cat is going crazy with her toy. Season 6 is when I hit my first Grandmaster rank. This is when Bastion became meta, and I finally was able to apply my Kovacs skills because I was a huge fan of aim training, and my Bastion win rate was quite extraordinary, 61% win rate, and I feel like I was very close to Grandmaster 4, but eventually dropped to Masters 2. I started playing Soldier more, I started playing Widowmaker more, and as you can see, my win rates on them are quite terrible. Sometimes you don't have the option to play Bastion, for example, on longer maps, Havana, Circuit Royale, Junkertown. Bastion is a terrible choice because they are playing Hanzo, they are playing Widow, they are playing Sigma, and there is just nothing to kill. You're gonna get out-cycled by Sigma abilities, he's gonna press shield, he's gonna press shift, and then he's just gonna go behind the cover and your form is already down. And finally, the Season 7, so 3 full seasons after that, this is just the start, I was able to land my first top 500. I understand that this is very, very unfair, to say the least, because if you would look at where top 500 starts, you quickly realize that even Diamond 2 players are top 500, right? Because a lot of players have never had 50 win rate threshold, but when you're going further and further, you quickly realize that players that I'm playing are very, very strong. And my last game I've played against like legit GM1 players, and it was quite crazy, quite a crazy experience. I'm gonna share my experience in comparison with like gold lobbies, plat lobbies, diamond lobbies, master lobbies, and the big difference between a diamond lobby and a grandmaster one. So my current win rate on Bastion is 71%, so I played 45 games and won 32 of them. This is completely crazy, and of course some people might say that Bastion is just a very easy character to play and you don't have any skill, you don't have any this and that. If you are so smart, why are you so weak? This is the only question I would like to ask. When we look at Grandmaster lobbies, you quickly realize that they are extremely fast-paced. Like, holy moly. I played a game against the Sombra OTP, the Sombra Wizard, and wow, this was quite an experience. You had to look forward because Doom is jumping on you, and then you have to turn around because Sombra is on your back, and then Genji is jumping all around you and deflecting. And when you look at Diamond games, people are taking the game slower. Not only that, they are moving a little bit slower and not strafing as much, but they are choosing wrong positions and they are dying like idiots. They are going for absolutely incorrect plays, and their ult economy is terrible and all of that. So this is the difference between Grandmaster lobbies and everything above. And I understand that this is another like side of a spectrum where you can have GM5 lobby and GM1 lobby is gonna get infinitely more difficult than GM5 one. And then if you have a top 500 lobby, it's gonna be infinitely harder than a GM1 lobby, especially at the end of the season where everything is gonna settle down and stuff. When it comes to the lessons that I have personally learned, they are very, very linked and detrimental to your overall mental and physical health in real life, because as you would have expected, terrible sleep schedule, very bad diet, very toxic relationship between you and your family, between you and your friends, between you and your loved ones can turn you from a champion into a trash can very, very quickly. So the first thing I did in comparison with my previous seasons where I was like Diamond is I completely changed my sleep schedule. I'm sleeping 8 to 10 hours. I make sure that everything is dark in the room is cold. I make sure that I am relaxing before bed for at least like an hour. I have my little diary when I write how I feel today, what happened, is there anything I need to work on. I read a book, and then slowly but surely after a quick meditation I go to sleep relaxed and ready for the next day. I cut out sugar and I started exercising a lot more. I feel like one of the most detrimental things that made me a better player is signing up to a mixed martial arts class. If you are not familiar, is when you hit people with legs, arms, your elbow, you hit them with knees, you can take them down, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. And I feel like I've learned in an MMA class a lot more than I've learned in any type of school or university environment. Another thing I did is I stopped caring about my teammates and only focused on my overall performance and made myself a lot more positive mental attitude oriented than I was previously was, because at the end of the day you will quickly outgrow every single bad player that you experience on your way, but the only bad player you have left is you. And not only you need to be easy on yourself, not only you need to forget and forgive yourself for all the mistakes that you've made, because clearly if you were go back you would have made the same mistakes, because you know, if you wanna try to fix a problem, you need to be at an extremely higher level than you were before. What else is there? I feel like the walls that you build for yourself are imaginary, and there are players who would get into your lobbies and completely devour everyone else because of their superior mechanical skill, their understanding, and their ability to communicate and lead the team. I feel like you are not hardstuck, you are just bad, and this is a good thing. This is when you realize that you need to step your game up. This is when you realize that you need to become better. And if you are hardstuck in Overwatch, the chances are you are hardstuck in real life. And first of all, you need to fix your relationships with your family, perhaps forgive them for everything they've done to you, accept the fact that they've done so many good things, acknowledge that, and again, forgive them. Perhaps you need to change the things that let you down, whether it's going to be a bad job, whether it's going to be bad social circle, whether it's going to be bad habits, and quickly you'll realize that you are an absolutely different person than you once was. When it comes to Overwatch, more of a specific kind of advice, I would advise you to pick a few characters on every single role and start practicing them. For DPS, it's gonna be Bastion and Soldier. For tank, it's gonna be Sigma and Diva. And for support, it's gonna be Illari and Ana. And if you were to play only these two characters and dedicate your playtime to learn everything you can, watching the best players on these characters and trying to mimic what they are doing, you quickly realize that you'll get better and better with time. That's gonna be it for today's episode. If you have any questions, I would like to go for the part 2. See you in the next one. Take care.